House of Wax is a 2005 remake of the 1953 Vincent Price horror film, and it is directed by Jaume Collet-Serra. I think I absolutely just butchered his name, but it's starring a shit ton of people, like Chad Michael Murray, Jared Padalecki, Paris Hilton, a lot of stars in this one. A group of teens are stranded by this strange wax museum, and they soon become prey to this killer who's trying to turn them all into wax statues. I used to watch this movie a lot when I was a kid, just because I saw the cover of it and I just thought it looked sick. So immediately it just grabbed my attention. I had no idea what it was about. I had no idea that it was even a remake, but I watched it, and I actually rewatched it all the time just because it's a fun movie to put on just casually. And before I did the rewatch for this review, I had only really remembered that the kills were pretty crazy, and I just thought like the wax figures kind of freaked me out, especially the way that you could peel the wax off and it just takes their whole skin off. It just really just grossed me out. If you are a fan of the 1953 Vincent Price version of this movie, you're probably not going to be happy watching this movie because it's not really bearing any sort of resemblance to that original film at all. This is definitely a modern day, early 2000s take on House of Wax. The characters in this movie are... what characters? The characters in this movie are just absolute dumbasses. They are just not the sharpest knives in the drawer, we could say that. God didn't put them down here at 100%, maybe 45, but I guess you could kind of consider this a slasher, and what can you really expect from a slasher besides having characters that are absolute dumbasses, you know? Chad Michael Murray is one of the only redeemable ones, and then the main girl, I don't know what her name was, but they were kind of redeemable. Everybody else, not so much. Besides the characters, this is just not a very smart movie, story-wise, but what it lacks in the story and character department, it makes up for in the production design. The sets in this movie look amazing, and especially the set where they're in this small town with the wax museum. It just makes you feel very uneasy whenever they're walking around in there because it's so barren and just feels off. The gore and the kills, like I said, in this movie is just amazing. Some of the most memorable kills, especially the guy getting decapitated, was really cool. Very interesting, unique, and the way he's like blinking after he gets his head chopped off, it's just so funny. Paris Hilton, her kill is really memorable. Won't spoil that one if you haven't seen it, and Jared Padalecki has a very unique kill as well. Critically, this movie didn't do so well upon its initial release, and it's still, to this day, not really seen as a good movie per se. This isn't supposed to be some sort of masterful work of cinema. Story and character aside, the filmmaking techniques in this movie, the cinematography especially, the music, the production design, the special effects, the visual effects, everything just blends together so well and really brings this movie up for me. I really enjoy the score for this movie. I don't know why, but it sticks in my mind. I just keep thinking about it. Another thing I'll add is that this movie, its runtime, I believe, is 1 hour and 53 minutes. 10-15 minutes could have been cut out of this. The first and second acts are like okay, especially the first act's kind of like eh. But it all ramps up to this finale. This third act is amazing. It feels epic in a way for a horror movie, which is weird, where I won't spoil anything, but some shit goes down. Fuck it, okay, it doesn't actually matter. Spoilers if you haven't seen House of Wax. It's been out since 2005. The killer falls through this wax floor that they push him through, and he falls into this like fiery basement area. I don't even know, but he falls on this body, which was just so cool to see. Not cool, it's gross, but it's cool for a horror fan. And they're surrounded by fire, and everything's melting because it's wax. The way this finale of the movie played out was just really cool. I'm gonna give this movie overall a 3 out of 5 stars, but barely 3. I'd say like maybe like 2 and 3 4s out of 5. It's not the greatest movie in the world, but still a fun time. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode of 31 Days of Horror.